Oh boy, I do feel like Tom Willis right now. Just a little bit. I'm not quite sure how he can see with these glasses on, but hey, each their own. Each their own. Um, it's late. I am usually not up at this time, but I'm at my conference. I ain't got nothing else to do. Hoping to hang out with some folks, just kind of chill out, have a good time. So I got some tweets out there, and yeah, if you can join in, join in. If not, that's okay too. I hope everyone's having a good night. Um, just got back to my room, got my shades, got my beach attire shirt, and got the home run derby on. Looks like Jose Ramirez is up, and I don't know, it doesn't sound like he's doing too well right now. That's okay. So home run derby is all about having fun, which is what I had tonight. Had a lot of fun catching up with some work colleagues at our conference. And I tell you what, it just feels good to be back. Evening bat does a little better than this morning, I guess. Um, yeah, upgrade. I don't know if it's the upgrade you're talking about. My cool shades. Hello. The room that they gave me, which they actually gave me over the weekend, so it's pretty cool, or whatnot. But yeah, I know it's Monday night. I know there's some breaks going on. I don't know if BCB's on right now, or I don't know. It's been so long since I've truly participated in anything, so I don't really know who's on. I don't know if I'm going to get anybody in here tonight, but that's okay. Um, Well, like I said earlier today, I'm here all week in Florida. Not tonight. Cool. Um, Here in Florida all week for our conference with the Crohn's and Colitis Foundation. It's actually the first in-person conference we've had since actually March of 2020 when the world shut down. Um, so it was good to catch up with everybody tonight that we work with across the country. Had some cool volunteers in, and was just able to just kick back and really have some drinks, have a good dinner. We get to work tomorrow though, for the rest of the week, which is going to be nice because I think it'll help not only with my job obviously, but ripping for the cure as well. And the cool thing about ripping for the cure is it was actually brought up tonight in conversation. So I was sitting at a table with two gentlemen from St. Louis, and the one guy had stated that they're trying to think of some some ways to fundraise and whatnot. Going home before the convention, so I'm here all week for my work conference, and then yes, I'm going home before national. So I leave Florida late Thursday night, and I'll be home for the weekend, and then I'm driving to Atlantic City on next Tuesday. So yeah, I'll be home. I know you stated that I got a package that'll probably be waiting for me. I actually still got to finish up just some final touches on things that I'm doing, which is actually kind of what I wanted to chat about tonight or the rest of the week, and just kind of get people excited about it and, whatnot. Wes, Wes, man, I haven't seen you in a month of Sundays, and I know that I am just as guilty of that because I have not reached out to you. So, man, it's so cool to see you in here. Thank you, sir, for stopping by. Mr. Vargo, good to see you um, here tonight as well. But yeah, it was just kind of like, you are alive. That's the coolest thing ever. Love seeing that. Love seeing that. Go get more people to come in here. Let's just hang out. I'm in Florida. I feel like I'm Tom Willis with these cool shades on. Um, Sans the Cheeto cocktail. Don't know how that man could do that, but it's Tom. He does the things that none of us would want to do, and that's why we love him. But yeah, so just to kind of recap, in Florida, Crohn's and Colitis Foundation Conference tonight was the first night that we've actually seen people in person in 2.5 years, and it was just fantastic to shake hands, have drinks, eat dinner, um, and just be friends again, because that's who we are, working together. But here all week, leave late Thursday, and then I go to National next week. Rudy, what's up, buddy? Good to see you, my friend. Um, Head to National next week, and got a lot of stuff um, planned for Rack of the Day next week, which I'm super stoked. Josh Looney, what's up, my guy? How are you, sir? Um, Alexandria, Virginia, right now. Nice, nice. That is a fantastic place to be. Um, I hope you're having a good time, man. Hope it's for pleasure and not anything else, my friend. Um, anyway, yeah, like just trying to catch up, and I'll get 4 hours, 4.5 from Pittsburgh. Yep. Um, trying to catch everybody up on what's been happening in the world of racks, because man, I tell you what, they're fast and furious. They're still coming. And I got a few messages today of, hey, can you help out? Can you do this? Can you do that? And I love seeing it, and unfortunately, I got to be kind of selective right now. I kind of blew out my card budget, um, putting racks together for next week. But that's okay. If I can get in, I will. And always down to retweet and help people. But I tell you what, who's really good at that, getting people involved. Two fantastic guys, Rowdy and Chris Batos, who was here in chat. And those guys I think they know everybody on hobby Twitter, and they will get you involved some way, shape, or form. They're just two awesome guys. I have a rack. I'm still compiling for Jaden. Oh man, that's cool. Card budget right now sucks. Yeah, yeah. I mean, gotta be careful. I tell people all the time that it is cardboard's always going to be there. Don't worry about participating or not participating. It's okay to say no. Saving money for a house. I mean, home improvements, man. That's that's more important, right? I got to take these off. These are killing me. Um, that's more important. Like Zach Cunningham, I just messaged him this morning. I saw he's taking a break. He's having some issues with vehicles right now. Like, you got to take care of the family first before you get into any more cards or racks. Like, I have a card that popped up on eBay over the weekend that I really need. It's to help complete a rainbow, but I, it's a little out of my budget right now, and it's one of those. It's at a price where I could probably get it for lower, but if I can, somebody else is going to as well, and it's one of those that I just have to think about for a little bit. But racks have been busy, but they're getting done even in the summit. Yeah, it's. I mean, they're fast and furious right now. So like, and I know that I've been a part of some recently um, that were held up. Unfortunately, I wish I had more control over some of the racks that my name was attached to recently, and I apologize to those that were in those. But they have been completed. I don't want to get into too much detail about it, just because it's kind of disturbing and upsetting on my end. But I promise that it won't happen again, for future reference. Um, just absolutely want to join in all the racks, and it just can't happen lately. The hobby family's been so insanely great to me. Wes, I mean, like I said, man, you don't have to jump in all of them. Like, I figured there's other ways to do it. Retweet when people are looking to get involved, or to put one together. You know, Tag people that you think would want to be involved. Message people on the side to say, hey, what's the rack for? I can't participate, but maybe I know people that would be willing to jump in. I mean, there's so many different ways to get involved. And, that's something that I have had a hard time with, um, because I want to say yes to everything. But as I mentioned, I blew out my card budget this month and I have to say no, um, to quite a bit. And actually, I blew out my whole personal budget because my wife is going away after I get back from national. That's why I'm cutting my trip short, for a surprise girls weekend that I put together for her. But, so I'm like balancing all kinds of things. A lot of people say they need to hold off or wait. It's never a problem. Yeah, I mean, it's exactly it. I mean, look, nobody's going to look at you sideways. I think I mean, we all got lives. I mean, I think everybody that I interact with, almost everybody I interact with, we we participate in this hobby because we love it. I don't know hardly anybody that does this for a living, right? Like, I mean, I, I, I sell cards, but I don't sell cards to pay my electric bill. I sell cards so that I can participate in racks, and I want to read a quote. I don't know how many people know Greg, or it's not Greg, Gary Bumgarden, who is, what's his Twitter handle? The Notorious GPB. Big Steelers fan, big Orioles fan. Um, Him and I recently worked out a deal. It's actually for a rack for somebody else. You all will find out about it next week. Um, and his dedication to his PC is like amazing. I mean, he will do anything to get the Orioles or anything to get the Steelers in breaks. And I absolutely love it. And I mentioned that to him. And this is what he said back to me. And I quote, I mean, it's truly a hobby to me. Sure, if I can make money doing it here and there, great. But it's all about collecting. Help others, and they'll tend to help you. Get people their PCs whenever possible, and don't mind giving up the monsters to get my own. I mean, if that doesn't exemplify the hobby, like as we all see it, I don't know what does. I really don't know what does. Um, and I just thought that was really cool. But um, so like some reviews, like a couple of them, I've been Bradley Miskala. I always pronounce his name wrong. Dude, just absolute rocked it. He's an awesome guy. I don't know if you all saw recently. He had a tweet out that said, man, if you like this tweet, I'm going to say something nice about you. And he went through and said something nice about everybody. But a group of people led by Rowdy and Mr. Batos as well got together, got him a lot of nice Panther stuff. I think there were some 8x10s, maybe a 16x20. There were some cards. And then the Cole Tucker jersey. Not Cole. I said Cole this morning too. Dang that it. The Kyle Tucker jersey for the Astros, because he's a big Astros fan too. Came to him through Miss Keska. Man, I added all kinds of letters. But that came from Ripping for the Cure. And I think we did a rack internally also within that. If I remember, Chris, was that a rack or was that just part of the trade or something? But anyway, we sent Alan Pennington a Bernie Kosar signed jersey, because he's the one that did the Tucker jersey. So it's kind of a cool thing. Another guy in the Ripping for the Cure break hit an Acuna jersey, and I immediately messaged him. It's like, listen, I got somebody that needs to have that. So a group of us got Zach that jersey, Baptist, Zach Blinken, got him that jersey. So, I mean, it feels so good when you can do those types of things. But, dude, I got a football signed by a Panthers player, and I can't remember his name. Yeah. Saw that. Wes, what did you say? Have you guys ever done the online Enneagram personality? I have to look it up. We'd really like to see where we fall in line with this. Interesting, Wes. Wes, do me a favor. Send me a message on Twitter with that so I remember it. I actually, speaking of personality tests, we did one for work. I did it last year. I guess everybody else did it this year because I don't know why I did it last year, but we're reviewing those, and it's kind of like how we all work together and how we can bounce ideas off one another. It's pretty cool. But I love taking those types of things. Um, but rack of the day, I mean, just been chugging right along. I mean, you all are fantastic. There's the good days and the bad days, and when I say that, I mean it's the interaction. And look, it's just like what we were talking about. Life gets in the way. You got to take care of what you got to take care of, and you know, the days that are like boom, 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 like people are just coming at it. Those are the best days ever. Like I love seeing them. But then the days where it's like a little less conversation, it can get lagging. I mean, with anything, right? So we always try to be as creative as we can. And the good thing is we have people in our back pocket because look, we're not just like giving racks to give racks, right? Like that's not what we're doing. It truly is again the recognition piece. Like you know, Wes is an awesome person. He is getting all of us to have better personalities right now. And I think that's really cool. So I want to give him something. Today's rack of the day was Kelly's cards 1796. I think that's the numbers in his. But I mean, this dude Kelly continuously. I probably get a mail day from him at least once a month of just Indians players and Guardians players, and it's because he loves what he does. Like he loves opening packs of cards and searching through them for other people. Keeps what he likes, sends out what he doesn't like, and that's just the coolest thing ever. But not only does that, I mean, he runs stack sales for our Rack of the Day charities each month. This month it's the Greater Cleveland Food Bank that our RAK ambassador Rich is running, and which he's doing really well, by the way, with help from everybody here. 72% of his $1,000 goal's already been raised, so I think we're going to blow past that. But I mean, Kelly's just a good dude. He reaches out to, I think, a lot of us, once, a week, twice a week, just to check in and say, hey, I'm thinking about you. And last month was his month for the charity, and he did the Miracle League of Michigan, which we rallied. I mean, we hit that. We surpassed the $1,000 mark, which I believe gets us, and I say us as a hobby as a whole, a banner on an outfield wall in Michigan. Which, I mean, how cool is that? I mean, that it's like a symbol of what we do, um, and just, I mean, all you people are so cool. My wife and my son, they came with me to Florida over the weekend, and they left this morning. But last night we went to dinner, and my wife asked me, she said, "Are you looking forward to next week?" Meaning the national, and she knows what I'm doing. And I said, "I'm absolutely looking forward to next week. I'm so excited. I can't wait to meet everybody that I've interacted with." And she said to me, she goes, "That's what I thought." You're going just to meet people, aren't you? And I said, "I'm absolutely going to meet people next week. That's what I want to do." Um, and that's there's nothing more about it. All right, Wes, take care, buddy. Have a good week. We'll catch up. Rudy, I know it's not a Steeler fan, but it should be Heinz Field still. Um, but and she mentioned to me, she's like, my wife mentioned to me, she goes, "I've never seen you light up more about a topic that you talk about than when you talk about your Twitter friends or Rack of the Day or ripping for the cure." And you know, I will freely admit, um, oh my gosh, Chris, yeah, like things flow. So yeah, a group of us got Chris Fargo like a graduation gift. Graduated with his degree recently, and Just super supportive of what we all do and everything. So um, yeah, Rudy, I'm not in Pittsburgh currently, and I live like I don't know, 20, 30 minutes outside of the city. But yeah, Chris, man, I mean, I think the coolest part about your rack is I got to hand deliver it because for those who don't know, Chris and I, we live in the same town. And it was just so cool to hand deliver one, like Kelly does quite often, to people. But back to what I was saying, like my wife recognizes that this is what I've enjoyed. And I told her, I'm like, it's like a release to me. Like the pressures of the day, whether it's work or whether it's, getting, my kid to baseball or swimming or just him. I mean, he's 4, like he's got energy to like galore, and we're outside all day, after work and doing things and, we're running and just life in general. Like this is my outlet, right? Like this is where I can just kind of like decompress and not have to worry about anything. And the other thing too, and I'm not afraid to admit this, um, since we've moved, I'm from Ohio, lived in Virginia for 10 years, and then moved to Pennsylvania. I don't have any friends in Pennsylvania. Like I don't have anybody that I would call like a close friend other than family to go hang out with. Like I wouldn't call somebody up and say, "Hey, let's go get a beer." And I'm fine with that. Like I don't need that type of interaction in my life. Um, but I told her, I was like, that's what this group is. Like that's what this group of people are. And next week I just can't wait to shake hands and gold line cards just sent in our rack of the day group. Like for those of you that are going to national, do you think we could like get together for dinner? And he was like one step ahead of me, which I really love because I was already thinking that, like I'm contemplating and God, I don't know if this would um blow up in my face or not, but like I used to go to Atlantic City quite often with some buddies and and we would spend the weekend. And we stumbled upon a bar there that at that time it was open 24 hours a day, and 12 of those hours were happy hour, which was amazing, the most amazing thing ever. Um, so I think what I want to try to do is at least get the rack group together and probably anybody like from 5 to 7 during happy hour time frame on the specific day come out and have a drink, first drinks on me and things like that. So we'll see. I gotta work things out. But this group's awesome. I love all of you. You're my friends, whether we've met, whether we haven't met, whether we interact, on a regular basis or not. Like you are my people, and I truly appreciate every single one of you for what you contribute to so many people's lives, including my own. And I just want you to know that you contribute to my life in more ways um, than you could ever imagine. So um, truly, you are special people to me. Um, so you've probably seen over the last like several weeks. I've put together this. It's called hash. It's now hashtag National Rack 22. Um, I have a goal that I've set for myself to give away 100 racks next week while I'm at the national. And I just put all of them together last week. Each rack pack has 4 cards in them, and some cards. Well, Chris, I actually have something different I'm doing with yours, so I'm going to get to that in a minute. Um, some cards will have or autographs, patches, numbered. I don't think there might be like one or two that's just like a base rookie or something, but the majority of them are like hits. And then I think there's 23 of the 100. There are other hits in there. And I don't want to divulge those right now because I truly want it to be a surprise next week, and I'm so excited about this. And uh, what's going to happen is I'm hoping that my wife, she said that she would. I got to finalize some things, but my wife has said that she's going to make me some shirts with the hashtag Rack of the Day on them, different colors while I'm there. And what I'm going to do is I'll take a picture of the shirt that I'm wearing that day, put it out on Twitter, and just basically say like, come meet me, come shake my hand. And if you do that, I got a rack for you. I'll have my book bag with them in, and it's going to be random grab. I'm not grabbing them. The person's grabbing it, and whatever's in it's in it. And then they can do whatever they want with it. They can keep it. They can sell it. They can throw it away. They can trade it. They can, I don't care what they do with it. And, but it's theirs, right? So I'm doing that, which again, super excited about. I have one thing um, that just got delivered over the weekend that will complete the process, and then once I get home from this conference, um, I'll finalize all those, and I'll take a picture of everything and send it out on Twitter because I like transparency. I don't want to just like this is what I'm doing, and then there's nothing there. Like I want you all to trust me that this is what's really happening. So again, I'm super stoked about it, and you know, I'm not gonna lie, like I'm also taking next week as a business trip uh, for me and for Rack of the Day, and I'm hoping that I can meet with some folks while I'm there and try to get some traction on some initiatives that I have built out for this. So, all right, Chris, have a good one, man. We'll catch up later. Um, like I've made some nice contacts within the hobby world that I think could make a real difference with Rack of the Day, and I'm hoping that's the case. Um, Chris Batos, he has sent me a package, and Chris, I'm sorry, I can't remember exactly what you're sending, but I know it's a package of cards and whatnot. I actually have two like other boxes at home that I've got packaged up and everything. And it's usually the box that I grab from for like to send to teachers and things like that, and just kind of like have those things. What I'm going to do is around like the convention center and maybe outside the convention center, but I'm just going to hide random packs of cards around, and they're going to be base cards for the most part, I think, just for people to find them and have fun with it. Or I might have them. I'll have some on me and just like randomly hand them to kids as I see them because you know that's what this hobby is about. It's about having fun, and I love seeing like other people do those things. With like the small town libraries and their take a book, leave a book, things like that. Like it's the painted rock theory. Like my son loves painting rocks and going to the park and hiding them. So it's kind of like that stuff, like I just I don't know. I've never been to the National, and I was at Steel City Collectibles last week, and I was talking to the store manager, and I was like, "Hey, are you going?" He's like, "Nah." He goes, "I got to stay at the store," and I'm like, "Well, what should I expect? Like, this is my first time going," and he's like, "It's like a Vegas casino. Like, there's going to be lights and whistles and stuff all over. It's going to be overstimulating." And when I hear that, like, and I know that stuff's expensive, and I'm taking money with me, but like I'm not looking to spend overtly. And I don't know if other people are either, but there could be people that are there that are just like me that just want to take the experience in. And I want Rack of the Day to be a part of their experience, and I want them to um, I want them to, walk away at least with something. And if Rack of the Day can provide them with something, then at the end of that day, I'm happy, and I hope they are too. Essentially 200. Oh, that's cool, man. Yeah. Oh my gosh, that's fantastic. Thanks, man. Oh, that's so cool. I'm excited about that. Um, but I mean, that's what it is, right? Like it's people helping people, and then Rack of the Day steps in and helps make memories. And like I said, I'm hoping that I can just like chat up some folks next week, and try to get things done. Rudy, come on, man! Like, come on up. Like anybody. I mean, if you if you tell me that you're coming to Atlantic City next week, I'm going to be there Tuesday through Friday. Like I'm going to leave early Friday, so like Tuesday really through Thursday night. You know, you tell me you're there, I will make it a point to come meet you. I don't care who you are. But I think that's the cool thing about these 100 racks that I've got put together is it's going to be 100 opportunities to meet somebody. Think about that. Like how how long does it take for you to meet 100 new people? Whether you've talked to that person or not through on the phone or through Twitter or whatever the case may be, 100 people I'm going to meet next week. And oh dang, pool host is going to go up again. Um, that's awesome. Make their day so easy. Yeah, like that's all I want to do. That's all we want to do is just make somebody's day, right? Like walk up to them, shake their hand. I'm Hecker. Thank you for participating in this hobby and everything that you do. You know, I'm not walking, dude. No, I know, Rudy. Um, but like, I selfishly, I hope that the people that I get to meet are the ones that I've interacted with. I know Che is going. Him and I are actually staying in the same hotel. I know Goldline's coming. I've met him already, but it's been a while since I've seen him. I think Ben from Midwest Box Brace is going. I don't know if the guys from BCB are going. I know the guys from Steel City Collectibles are going. You know, um, you know, Tony Shrek is going. I think Cards Kevin is trying to. I think all these people that I interact with, like I hope they're the ones that see the tweet and come find me. And like I don't know, like once I walk in there, is everything going to change? Like when I walk in, am I going to be like, oh my God, like there's a sea of people here and I'm this one little speck that has this shirt on. Like, how are you going to find me? Like, am I going to need to like put a marker on Twitter and say, okay, I'm at this booth right now. Like, come find me. Like, I don't know, you know, and it's not going to just be like at the convention, right? It's going to be at restaurants and bars and trade night and whatever. I mean, whatever's going on. Like, guys, I don't know. Just follow along next week. Um, dang, Pool's crushing them. Um, I don't know. Selfish. I kind of hope he wins. I saw that Ramirez lost to Soto, so um, why not pool host win this? But anyway, I appreciate all of you. You followed along with Rack of the Day for so long. Um, I have my reasons that I'm doing it and that I will continue to do it as long as you all will have me. Like I don't know. It's the cool. I think it's the coolest thing that I have ever done with like my own my professional life. Um, you know, I don't know. It's just a cool thing. I love it. Um, I don't know, man. Men, I think it's just Rudy and Chris at this point. Um, what else you got? What do you want to talk about? Anything? 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 Ask me. Ask away. I'm an open book. I think you all know that about me. Ask away. If not, we can certainly call it a night. I am fine with that. But I'm here. I am here. I got to get up. I mean, it's no different than I usually do. But what you need to know? Anything? Anything at all? If not, I can meet you this week. Well, I'm in Florida right now, Rudy. So I'm a little further away than the Alexandria to Pittsburgh drive. Yeah, I'm in Florida all week, buddy. So don't think that's going to happen. Plus, I don't. Even if you were to drive down here to Florida, I'll be honest, I'm not going to have time. Our days are extremely packed. Um, Starting at like 7 o'clock tomorrow and goes till 5, and then the real work gets done at the bar afterwards. Um, but anyway, I don't know. I don't know. Yeah, I mean, um, Rudy, you have to come up to Accurise Stadium and watch the Steelers. I sent my wife this picture. Speaking of that, I sent her a picture with these glasses on. Hello, hello, and she said, "I love your new Steelers glasses." So she ruined these as soon as she said those. Garrett, 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 Garrett. How are you, sir? Welcome. Just kind of um, went through all the racks that have happened over the last like month and a half because it's been a long time. Went through what I'm doing at National next week with the hashtag National Rack 22 and the 100 racks plus. Now just kind of like chilling and seeing what people want to talk about. Looking forward for you paying it forward to random kid collectors. No, we both feel the same. Think you're gonna, yeah, Pathos, man. I am gonna have the best time ever next week. Um, I really am, and like it's gonna be so cool. I think things will fall into place as they see fit. Um, I my goal is to not walk away with any of the cards that I take with me next week. Um, Garrett was a part of putting those together. I bought some cards off Parker. They are packed up, ready to go for people to get in their hands next week. So definitely some cool stuff happening with Rack of the Day and just this whole hobby in general. It, I don't know. I can't help but get happy about it. I can't help but get happy when I think about all of you people and everything that we do collectively. Um, yeah, Rudy, what? Oh man. Okay, so Garrett, yes, I can't wait to see what happens next week. But funny story, Rudy. Um, so the other night, I think it was Saturday night while we were here. Um, it, I mean, it just thunderstormed at night, so we were kind of stuck in the hotel room. And good thing it was kind of bedtime for my son, so it worked out. Um, and like hotel television is sometimes the worst. Anyway, my wife was flipping through the channels and Naked and Afraid was on. So we sat there and watched it. And my son was just in love with it, like asking us, why do they have no clothes on? I've never seen the show, so I didn't know really what it was about. Like, why do they have no clothes on? Like, why are they dirty? Why are they, I mean, it was a fascinating show. One I would never do. I would never go on that show. Pfft, you kidding me? I could not survive out in the wilderness for more than a day or two, maybe. So it was a fascinating show. But it was funny that my 4-year-old was like, "Oh, this is cool," and I'm sure he's been watching it all day today at home. Um, Garrett, if you're excited to see where Rack of the Day goes, I am equally, if not more, excited about it. I don't know if you heard me, but I said I'm making next week not only a personal trip but also a business trip to try to connect with some folks within the hobby to make Rack of the Day something bigger and something that I hope will have a longer lasting impact on folks. It's tax write offs. You, you're kind of like getting to where I'm going there. That's pretty cool. Um, but I think there's a lot of just goodwill that happens. We see it quite often just here, and we see it. I mean, look, I'll say as much grief that you know Tops and Panini and Upper Deck even get. I think they do pretty well, pretty not well, but they do a good job um, recognizing people or picking them up. Like the Panini pick me ups, I think are pretty cool. They always seem to just hit the right person at the right time. And I'll be honest with you, like people have asked me, like, is that you? Do you? I don't. I I don't know anybody at Panini. I wish I did, but I don't. Um, but it's always so cool to see those things. And I know Upper Deck does things like that. And Tops, I've seen a few things. Um, so the more that stuff can happen, I think the better the reputation of these companies are going to be. Um, I understand that that you have like the super hardcore hobby people that they want the quality control. Um, have the quality control of the cards and whatnot, and things happen. I mean, just got to get past it. Mr. Pennington, how are you, sir? How you feeling? It's good to see you. Thanks for stopping in. Hope you're doing well. Um, but I think this is something I've always felt in my life, and it's kind of why I'm here, not only doing Rack of the Day, but with my job as well. Like the more goodwill you can put out there in the world, I think the better your reputation is going to be. I'm not saying it's going to solve everything, because it doesn't, um, but it definitely helps. I mean, it definitely helps. And if you're doing it from a genuine place and in the interest of the people and not the interest of who you are, um, they're gonna understand that. I mean, the perfect case study, and maybe I'm dating myself, Alan. I think you're about the same age as I am. I wasn't I wasn't at an age where I remembered this, but I think it was 1982, like when the Advil um, uh, epidemic, or not epidemic, but Advil got laced with cyanide. And, you know, one of the first things that Advil did, they took every bottle off the shelf across the country, every bottle off the shelf, because they knew it was the right thing to do. Did they lose millions? They lost millions by doing that. But you know what happened? People still trusted Advil, and it's still around today. I mean, your doctor prescribes you an Advil a day to help with your heart. So, I mean, you know, that's what happens. Now, they also did scientific research and they made the pills better and the bottles better and things like that. But the first thing they did is they got rid of every single bottle that was on the shelf. And they made it a point to tell people that's what was going to happen and do. So I think if companies, doesn't matter if it's the hobby related company, if it's a company you work for, you work with, the more they can do to support, in different ways, the smallest way or the largest way possible, I think the better, it is for them. Um, let's see. Let me catch up on Alan. You're 50. I didn't know you're 50. Yeah. Recovering slowly. Good. Well, I mean, recover, man. Like just recover. Now, Rudy, I appreciate you. You're a good friend too, buddy. So let's see, Garrett. One positive review goes as far as one person. One negative review goes to two people in doubles. How many Panini pick me ups happen versus bad redemptions? All we hear is the negative. You're 100% right. You are 100% right, Garrett. You go out to eat. You have a horrible experience, right? What happens? You go and tell somebody about it, and then they tell somebody, and then that person tells them. You never tell them the positive. That's kind of why I wanted to share what happened to me this weekend when I arrived here at the hotel. Like the front desk person, she looks at me and she says, "You're the first person to come here from your organization. And she asked me, this is something I left out. She asked me, how do you pronounce your organization so that I can say it right? I think that is an extremely talented person. And it says a lot about who they are to say, I want to make sure I get this right, because she knows like there's going to be 150 plus people here from us. I got to get it right. And then she asked me, like, I've been working with this woman and she said her name, you know, she's the VIP. And I kind of chuckled because the woman she was speaking about, in her mind, she definitely is a VIP. She's the woman who organizes the conference for us. I know the work that she does, and it takes a lot of time. So I said, you definitely need to know her. Gave her name, showed her a picture of her so she knew who she was. And then she's like, are there any other VIPs? And I was like, yeah, like our CEO's coming, this person's coming. And I'm showing her pictures of that and everything like that. And she needed to do nothing. In fact, I told her, because she's like, let me see what I can do for you, Rube. And I'm like, I don't need anything. And she upgraded us to, a suite overlooking the ocean, all because I told her some names and some facts. Like, she was doing her job by making sure things were right and then compensated me when really it should be the other way around. And, I wanted to compensate her, and maybe I should go back and redo my tweet and tag the hotel we're staying in and her name, because I want them to know that she did a really great job. But I don't think we do that enough. I don't think we tell the positive side of things enough. And, that's something that we definitely need to do more of. And I think as a collective community, and it doesn't have to be through RAK of the Day. It can be, it can just be you, like something good happened to you today, a good experience with, this thing, man, like put it out there in the world, like give that person or that company publicity, because to Garrett's point, one positive review goes as far as one person. One negative review goes a whole lot further. So it's something that we need to do better of. Alan, unfortunately, I don't think I'm going to have time to go there. I did see your suggestion of that. It sounds amazing. Yeah. Uh, Rudy, where you stay? Well, I'm in Fort Lauderdale right now, Rudy. They got us at the Westin, I think. Yeah, the Westin is where I'm at. Garrett, suggestion. Get the employee's name and tag the corporate account, and also make sure the hotel manager knows. That gets overlooked almost all the time. Former hotel worker. Yeah, it's a great suggestion, Garrett. I did I did one of those things. I did talk to the hotel manager, and I wanted to make sure that she knew that this woman did a fantastic job, um, with us. Was very, very pleased with everything she did. I do need to go back and tag the hotel chain in a tweet, because you're absolutely right. I mean, they need to know. And I've been on the other side too. You guys have probably seen some of the tweets where I'm not happy with the airline. I'm not happy with the hotel. And you all need to fix it. And I think that's a great thing about social media is it reaches somebody right away, and they at least try to attempt. But there should be follow up on my end too, that if the problem was fixed, I should go back in and say, this airline fixed the situation for me. I'm pretty grateful for it. So, but I agree. Like, get the positive out there, do the thing, and whatnot. Um, what else is going on in everybody's world? It's summertime. What do you all got going? I know that there's been some COVID sickness going around with some folks. I hope if it's you that you're feeling better and that your family's doing well. Um, I know just like work related issues have been going on, but what anything fun? Anybody doing anything fun? I feel like summer's almost over. I don't know about you all, but man, I feel like it's just gone by so fast. Um, yeah, like what do you guys got going on? I think I'm done after next week. I think my next thing that I'm doing, I think my buddy and I are going to the Ohio State Notre Dame game. So that'll be, it's supposed to be 106 here tomorrow. You, Garrett, man, I, I stepped off the plane here Saturday and I almost turned around and went back home because I do not like the heat. It is hot. It's not 100, it's 90 here, but the humidity here is oppressive. Um, and like I went for a walk this morning and was just absolutely drenched in sweat. I mean, I didn't run. I just literally walked and I was just done. And they have us set up if we want to tomorrow to do either yoga or go for a walk. And I said, nope, not doing that because, man, I wake up at 5 o'clock in the morning. I get my shower. I do not need to take a second shower at 7:30 in the morning. Not happening. I will go. I got a book I have to read. I'll go read my book and drink my coffee at that time. So, not going to happen. Family got COVID. I'm thinking about driving up to Pittsburgh, and my son Alejandro hates it. He hates Pittsburgh, or he hates to drive to Pittsburgh because I've been on both sides. I used to hate Pittsburgh till I moved here, and then I drove to Pittsburgh plenty of times from Virginia, so I know that's a rough drive. Worked 2 trades for 2 cards for Parker's Rainbow tonight, down to 1 card. Gonna get this thing finished. Garrett, which rainbow is it? I know he's got. Doesn't he have like a few? Um, that's awesome, man. Happy for you and for Garrett. I mean, that's fantastic. Did the cruise through Fort Lauderdale Airport last Saturday. Came down with COVID Sunday on day 9. Yikes. Yeah, Alan, I've heard a lot of people say the same thing that like the cough is just lingering. You know, the energy levels are, um, geez, Pete Alonso, home run derbies out there doing squats right now in the weight room. Um, that it's just lingering. It's a lot rougher. So hates the Steelers. It's all right, Rudy. I mean, there could be worse things. Yeah, more than one. 2021 Series 1 might be the first rainbow finish between his 2 PC players. Hey, completed rainbow is a completed rainbow. I mean, I think that's just fantastic. I was saying earlier that over the weekend, and it's still on eBay, a huge PC card came up for the only rainbow that I'm doing because I don't know if I could do more than one right now or ever. Came up and it's at a price where it's cheaper than the last one I saw that I missed out on, and there's actually a lower offer on it right now from the seller that ends. I think it ended already actually, so I'm going to try to put a lower offer in. I think to try to get it because I'm afraid that if I don't get it today or tomorrow, that I probably won't see it again. And if I can get it, then there's only 1 card left, and it's the one of one, which, you know, if you chase after these things or you see them, you know how difficult those are. So I don't know. Oh, Alan, sorry to hear that, man. Like, I don't blame you. Like having the conflict, like, so look, I'll be honest with you all. I mean, working for the organization that I do, I mean, the Crohn's and Colitis Foundation, we're a healthcare foundation. I mean, that's what we pride ourselves on, right? Like we're trying to fight these 2 diseases and find cures. So we're, our patient population, they are immunocompromised and whatnot, and they sent us in the mail COVID tests to take prior to flying. And they, are following all the guidelines and everything like that. And they said to us, that masks are optional. I mean, they're not forcing us to do anything that we don't want to do. And I was prepared to get questioned because I have a personal choice that I'm not wearing a mask, and I was prepared for people to question me. It was the complete opposite. There wasn't a single person that had a mask on, which I felt very comforted by, because that means that we're all comfortable with one another and trust one another. But I get, Alan, like that conflict. It's just not worth it, you know. I mean, it really isn't. And good for you to at least recognize that and walk away. Because if you didn't walk away, it could have been a lot worse than him just questioning or going off on you. So, well, Garrett, you're right. And that's so unfortunate. I saw somebody say something like, I'm not going to let Canada tell me what to do. Well, I mean, if you've ever traveled to Canada, and I don't know if this is a real thing, but it sticks out in my mind from when I was a kid going to Niagara Falls. But I remember for some reason being stopped at the border, and they would search your car if you were bringing like food or other things into the country. Like, countries have their own rules. Doesn't matter if it's COVID or buying liquor at the airport and bringing it back from another country. I mean, it's the same thing. So you got to abide by them. And while I understand that this whole thing is just, strange and weird, um, just do it. Do what the rules are. If you decide that you don't want to get vaccinated, that's your choice. But man, there's things that are going to come with that, and you got to be okay with it. Being a Whitmerfield from Parker this week was rough. Yeah. What do you think? Like, is he going to get traded? I mean, are the Royals going anywhere? Could they get prospects back, that are going to help build them, for the next couple of years to be a contender? Like, yeah, like what's going on there? Like the Guardians right now, like, I don't know what they're going to do. I mean, they're not sellers, but are they buyers? I don't know. I mean, I'm in a I'm in a group chat with some friends, and a friend of mine threw this crazy trade out of, um like, let's send, you know Valera and Nolan Jones and like a couple of our pitchers out to Anaheim for Mike Trout. Do they say no? And I'm like, yeah, but I mean, I'm not going to take on his contract, like that's the thing. And it's just one of those crazy things. So trades are coming up soon for sure. Going on cruises, I've had to be vaccinated. Wasn't going to argue. I've been fortunate enough to do 8 since last August. Right? Like, I mean, what? Like, again, your own personal choice to do either one, and then you deal with whatever the positive or negative consequences are. Jimmy frickin' Bible. It's a party. It's a party. Jimmy Bible's here. I've come to this conclusion that if you get photoshopped by Jimmy, it's like a rite of passage now. Um, it's a rite of passage. Just saying. So, all right, so let's see. Garrett, vaccination status hurts his value. Okay, I'll agree with that. Someone wants someone who can play multiple positions. Okay, he's declined 3 straight years. I hope for my sanity and Parker's he stays. Yeah, that's so tough. That's so tough. Jimmy Bible, is Julio Rodriguez going to win this home run derby? Is he? Is he going to win the home run derby? Or is Albert Pujols going to beat him? Crazy thing. Some of you probably saw it. Somebody asked Albert Pujols, "What's your favorite All Star memory?" One of them was his 2001 All Star game, his first All Star game, which was Cal Ripken's and Tony Gwynn's last All Star games. And now here we are with Pujols' last All Star game and Julio Rodriguez's first. Like, it's a cycle, man. It's a cycle. Um, yeah, let's see. The risks. COVID finally caught up, right? I mean, stuff happens. Stuff happens. Yeah, like that's just. I mean, that's the cool thing about baseball. I mean, I'm a huge baseball fan. Have been my entire life. You have these moments, and like, sorry, this is the best All Star game of any. So I get the TV over here. That's why I'm pointing. Um, this is the best All Star game of all the sports. The baseball All Star game is the best All Star game of all the sports. Basketball is a defensive less game. It's so boring to watch. The 3-point contest and slam dunk contests are no longer the same as they once were. The Pro Bowl, I don't even know why they play the Pro Bowl anymore. It's the most ridiculous football game that there is on the face of this planet. And hockey, I don't even know what they do with it anymore. I don't know if it's still World versus USA or if it's rookies versus veterans or whatever. But you know, the baseball All Star game, like as much grief as I think we could give the MLB and the commissioner, they do this thing right. Like they really do it right, and they make it a weekend, for everybody to enjoy at some fashion. They do it right. So, um, I never thought we'd have another Griffey-esque player in my lifetime. I'm so ooh, ooh. So wow, Jimmy, that's a huge compliment to this kid. Comparing him to not only one of the greatest baseball players ever, but to compare him to the greatest Seattle Mariner ever. Hey, get excited about him, man. I'm happy for you. I talked to a woman tonight at my conference who we were talking about sports. It's kind of like that common theme amongst groups of people, and she said, I used to live in Seattle and I'm a huge baseball fan." And I was like, 114 wins, huh? And she shut me down right away and whatnot. But it's pretty cool. I mean, the Mariners are an interesting team. I thought they were going to be I thought they were going to win the West this year. I don't know. Alan gave me a postcard. Oh, that's cool. I didn't know you collected postcards. The hype around here is ridiculous. You can feel it in the air. Now, Jimmy, is it hype or is it like other stuff going on in the air in Seattle? I don't know. But no, like I, I mean, I do. I like Julio Rodriguez. I think that he is a stud in the making for the Mariners and for baseball. I mean, God, I hope somebody like I think we're getting to that generational age of workers right now that they're going to work for Major League Baseball and they're going to say Julio Rodriguez, he's a superstar. We need to market him. We've had this conversation before. We need to market him, or we need to market Shohei in this way, or Soto, or whoever it is. Like we got to do a better job. Like right now, Derek Jeter's on TV. His his new documentary's coming out soon. The Captain. I'm pretty stoked about it. And wait, I'm confused. Did they switch? Is well, somebody talk to me here. Oh, never mind. It was just a commercial for it. But I'm pretty excited about that to come on. Like they did good by him in New York, but not Major League Baseball. I do have a question for everybody around the All Star game. So I listened to this podcast called Locked On MLB. It's Paul Francis Sullivan is the host of it. I like him. I mean, he can be kind of annoying at times, but he talks all baseball, not just specific teams. Talks all baseball, and he poses this question, which I find interesting. Should the All-Star game for Major League Baseball be played at the beginning of the season instead of the middle of the season? And his rationale behind it is because players from like that have a good second half of 2021, but they don't have a good first half of 2022, they're forgot about by the All-Star break here. They don't get to go to the game. Or like guys that had a heck of a playoff run, they don't get the recognition maybe. So I mean, I could see it both ways. Like I really could. I could see like having the first game, but then I think that limits it too. Like, right? Like Cleveland's never going to get an All-Star game if that's the case. Because I mean, how many times has Cleveland had to postpone their home opener because of snow? Seattle's not going to get one. New York, I mean, it's always going to be in LA or Houston or Miami, or Atlanta. It's never going to be. So, but I think this is a good break. I mean, because listen, I mean, we all know baseball's such a long season. This is an awesome break. Not not only for the players but also the fans. Like, it's grueling to keep up, and this is just a nice lull. So I like that. It's the Midsummer Classic. Jimmy, are you going next year? You gonna go? I attempted to go when it was in Cleveland. Was that 19? I think. And I couldn't pull the trigger on it. So I'm hoping that Pittsburgh will get it soon again. I would like to go. It's something that's on my list of things to do in my life is to go to All-Star game and whatnot. And Pittsburgh obviously has a beautiful ballpark and beautiful setting, so we definitely want to go to that. But yeah, what else we got, folks? What else? Listen, like I said, I ain't got nothing but time right now. Nothing but time. So whatever you want to talk about, I'm here. I'd love to, but my schedule sucks. I won tickets to a game this morning, and I don't know if we'll be able to make it. Sorry to hear that, Jimmy. Sorry to hear that. Hopefully things will lighten up for you soon. Um, I know that it can be schedules are rough. They are. I get it. It happens. You're right. You are right. So I was in Cleveland, drove by the stadium. Neither Baker nor Alice Cooper were home. Oh man, yeah, Garrett. That's I'm not so upset that Baker Mayfield is no longer a Cleveland Brown. I'm upset with how it all happened. Um, they should have just said prior to the draft or whatever when this all started, you're just not a quarterback, and we're going to trade you or whatnot. Don't give somebody with the speculation and the criminal record right now that Deshaun Watson has a guaranteed contract. It's just nobody should have a $200 million guaranteed contract in the NFL. I don't care who you are. You just don't do that. And to do it for him and the way they structured it, knowing that, you know, Watson was probably going to be suspended this year. And from all sounds of it, it's not going to be a long suspension. They did Baker wrong. They really did Baker wrong. And I'm not a Baker fan. Like, I'm glad that he was our quarterback and that he won us games and he brought us back to relevance. But man, did they do him wrong. And I hope he succeeds in Carolina or wherever he ends up, because I mean, Carolina's got a carousel of quarterbacks right now, so who knows? Um, I was surprised Alice Cooper wasn't home. I mean, his restaurant's pretty good. I don't even know if it's still there. Um, Biggest slap in the face. Absolutely. Let's be honest. Baker was average at best. He got his ego hurt. I was in favor of an upgrade. Don't like his off field, but Watson is a better quarterback. Alan, man, I will respectfully disagree with you. Um, I'll agree that Baker was average, but Baker put us in situations to win. Baker Mayfield and the Cleveland Browns won the last playoff game ever at Heinz Field. Let that sink in. Garrett makes my next point. He did not have the offensive line, and he had to run for his life. Jimmy makes another point. He worked his tail off, to make sure that the players around him were better. The Browns thought they were doing something good by bringing OBJ in. I will be the first to admit, when I heard I know exactly where I was at when I heard that they got OBJ. I was at a Pittsburgh Penguins game for an event, and I tweeted right then and there, I need a hotel in Miami because I thought the Browns were going to the Super Bowl. I think that was one of the biggest parts of the issue was OBJ couldn't get past his own ego. I think Baker deserved to have. I don't figure out how I want to say this. I think Baker deserved to act the way he did, to be upset the way he was, because I don't think that it was a true business decision. Because if it was, there's better ways to handle it. Um, you know, he won us games. I mean, Alan, you've been a Browns fan longer than I have, and you've been through all the same stuff that I've been with that team. And it's it was so exciting to see them win and be a winning team and get to the playoffs and do everything they've done over these last few years. It's not going to happen again for a while. It just isn't. It's not. Well, and Alan, I agree with you on that. Like Baker was okay, and I supported him and the team as well. But you know, stick with what's like getting you to that point. Like you could look at the North this year, right? Like the Steelers. I mean, unless Pickett, comes out swinging, they're not going to do anything in the North. The Ravens are always, one Lamar Jackson shot away from being in the cellar. And the Bengals, I mean, yeah, I mean, you got to give it to them, but I think the Browns could have fought for it this year, but not now. It's not going to happen. Chad Henne, I'm not even actually. So the guy I was sitting with at my table tonight for dinner, huge Kansas City Chiefs fan, huge, and when I mentioned that I was a Browns fan, he did the same thing everyone does. Oh man, love hearing that. Great respect for you as a fan base. I'm like, yeah, we should have beat you that game, but Dirty Dan did us dirty, and I didn't want to get into it all, but and it's just crazy. Um, I agree. Baker always tried to put too much pressure on himself. That's when he made his mistakes. That was his liability. Okay, so Alan, you're right. Baker did put a lot of pressure on himself, but I think he had to, right? Like, I mean, the players that were around him, they were good players. They were NFL caliber players, but they didn't have, like the big three. Nick Chubb, don't get me wrong, the man is a stud and probably one of the best running backs in the game, but he had an average wide receiver core. He had an offensive line that, was, mediocre at best. And he had to put that pressure on himself. But I think that's what made him a winner at Oklahoma. I think that's what made him a game manager in the NFL that won games for a dilapidated team that hasn't seen winning in 20 plus years. He had to do it. There's nothing else. And like I said, I hope he sees some success wherever he lands. I don't know where that'll finally be. If he's going to stick with Carolina or whatnot. But it is what it is. It is what it is. So what else? What else? I got a good group of people in here. I enjoy you all stopping in. Been on for quite a while. This is kind of cool. What else you want to talk about? Yeah, Jimmy. I mean, I could see him there too. Could have ended up in Seattle for you too, but different story maybe. Is Pujols going to win? Yes, Jimmy Bible. The answer is no. You ask me. Soto's got a minute left, at least on my TV. I don't know. I don't know. Pujols got a shot. Maybe. I don't know. Maybe. I watched Pujols as a kid for his summer collegiate team, the Hayes Larks. Wow. I was Parker's age when watching him. Dang. That's pretty cool. I mean, when you can see longevity of a player like that in a sport, I mean, it's just so great to see. And I know people will be like, "Oh, he should have, retired after the Angels got him to the Dodgers or wherever he went to." Like, the man wanted to play baseball. Let the man play baseball, right? I mean, if that's what he wants to do, and he can help at the club. Maybe he can't hit the home runs that he once did, but if he can help the young players, Pujols beat Soto. If he can help the young players in the clubhouse, man, I tell you what, I think that's just as valuable as hitting a home run. He's 15 home runs from 700. I mean, go after it. It's just like the rainbows we all chase. Go after it. Pete's all about developing Drew. Hey, Drew Lock's not a slouch. I mean, he's an NFL quarterback. Talk about your bucket lists. So, Rudy, I kind of have a bucket list. So, I turned 40 this year, and I put together a list of like 40 things that I want to do in my 40 year. My wife and I had this conversation at one point too. And she's like, "What drives you? What motivates you?" And I said, "Just life in general. Like, I just want to do better for her and for my son and, for the people around me." And, she said, "But like, what do you want?" And I didn't quite understand like what she was asking me. And I said, "Well, what do you want?" And she told me right then and there. She goes, "I want a cabin in the woods." And when she said that, I'm like, "Oh, like, what do I want?" Okay, like, I've never been a wants guy. I've always been the needs guy. Like, what do I need? Um, I mean, I think we've all like wanted something. I mean, we're in the hobby. You obviously want something, but I never really. Wait, I'm confused. Oh, he's got the bonus balls. Soto beat Pujols. Sorry, I spoke inadvertently. But like, so I said, "Well, what do I want?" So I turned 40, and I was like, "All right, let me kind of put." So I put down here like it's simple things, like simple. Attend Guardians home opener. I did that this year. Attend Guardian spring training. I did that this year. I'd like to go to a Browns game, a Cavs game. I like to go to a Guardians road game. And mind you, there's a lot of these are sports related. Ohio State Notre Dame game. I have plans to go to that this year. I'd like to go to the Baseball Hall of Fame. It's been 20 plus years since I've been there. I'd like to go to the Football Hall of Fame, even though I grew up 10 minutes from there. It's been a long time since I've been there. Um, Attend National. I get to cross that off next week. And then after that, it became less about sports and more about things that I wanted to improve about myself and do things like that. Um, so, like, this might sound crazy to a lot of people, but I wanted to read 4 books in a year. I'm a very slow reader. I don't comprehend well what I'm reading. And so I thought 4 books was attainable. It's like one a quarter, which would still be a stretch for me. And I'm happy to say that I'm actually on my second book of the year. Now, mind you, it's a book that I'm reading for work, but still a book. Um, this one, actually starting with my wife on August 1st, is to lose 40 pounds. Um, it's something that I have struggled with over the last few years, not just COVID, but even before that. I've gained weight and I don't like it. I don't like the way I feel physically. Um, so her and I collectively have committed to one another beginning August 1st. We're going to go on a pretty serious, regimented plan, and we're going to hold each other accountable. So that's one of the things that I have here. Um, COVID killed your hairline and waistline. Yeah, I think a lot of us that did that. Vacations give me something to look forward to. Yeah, Alan, you're always on a cruise somewhere. Masters with your dad. Watch Tiger one more time with my dad. Yeah, that's the kind of stuff like that I'm having a hard time coming up with. So I was kind of like looking at the future. I've won around rack of the day. I'm hoping that I can do some of that next week as well. Say yes more. Um, this has been a tough one for me because I want to say yes to everybody. Um, but and this really was more around my son. Um, I say no a lot to him. And it's never like, no, I won't play with you. The answer to that is always yes. Like my son comes to me and says, Dad, will you play with me? The answer is always yes. It doesn't matter what I'm doing. Yes, I am going to play with you. But what the yes comes to is, can I have? Will you get me? Fill in the blank. And I'm not a parent that I'm just willing to give you whatever you request. My wife and I have this conversation on it. She is. She will give him whatever he wants. I'm one that firmly believes that you earn what you're asking for. And this is something that I've been trying to teach him. And so that's been my like say yes more is like, let me find ways to say yes to him when he's asking for things. And it's been difficult, especially this summer, because my wife's a teacher, so she has the summer off, and they've been hanging out like every day doing things, which I absolutely love watching. Like, I love hearing about their adventures they go on every day and seeing things, and I miss it. I've struggled with it. Because I miss not being there because I'm working, and have other responsibilities that I have to take care of. But there's been times where it's like maybe she went away with her mom last week, or like, she has appointments, and he asks me for something, and it's something that I truly couldn't give him, and his answer is, you always say no, 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 and mommy says yes, 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 and that's tough to hear. It's very tough to hear. So I've been trying to find more ways to say yes. I know that got kind of deep. um, Attend a Cape Cod League baseball game. Unfortunately, that's not going to happen. It was actually, I was trying to combine it with the Guardians road game, but schedules got mixed up. Take my wife to New York City for Christmas. We just scheduled that, so get to cross that one off. Be more attentive to others. So like it actually comes from all of you. I feel like there's times that I don't reach out to people, that I don't engage with people, how they engage with me, and it's kind of like I don't reciprocate, and I don't like that. So I'm trying to do that more, because I do it with my work. I mean, it's part of fundraising is being attentive to things. So I need to be more attentive to all of you as well, because it's definitely something. All right, Garrett, thanks, man. Have a good one, and maybe we'll do this again some other night this week. If you can see Radio City Music Spectacular musical, yeah, like it's gonna be rough, Alan, because it's I mean literally a weekend. Like we're leaving on a Friday night after she gets off work, and then coming back Monday morning. So I mean, the biggest thing is she wants to see, and so do I, Rockefeller Tree. So the last one that I have here, I know I said 40, but there's like 17. And that's all I got to. Is actually to become more social. So by nature, and like I was talking earlier, of we had to do this personality test for work, and like I know this about myself. Like I am an I am an introverted extrovert, and it's called ambivert. So I'm both. Like I can be extroverted at work. Like you put me in a fundraising setting with thousands of people, and I will be the most extroverted person you can ever meet. One thing I don't like is small talk. Hate small talk. Absolutely hate small talk. Which is crazy, because I feel like that's kind of what we do here. But at the end of the day, I am the biggest introvert that you will ever meet. I would much rather stay inside and not be in a crowd of people. Like, don't invite me to a party. Don't make me go, out somewhere that I don't really want to be. Like, I'm not that person. I'm just not. And so I'm trying to like fix that. And next week really is gonna be pretty interesting. Um, just trying to get to know people and things like that, because I'm not a naturally social person. But I think it'll be good next week. So it's a long-winded answer to my bucket list there, Rudy. And I know that you were looking for like more like fun and engaging things, but that's it. I mean, at one point, I think I still have it on my phone. Um, let's see. Do I still have it? Yeah, I do. Okay, so I do kind of have a bucket list on here, but it's some of the dumbest things. Like, listen to these things. So the first one was take my wife to Fiji. She always wanted to go to Fiji. Um, now I get it, Alan. Yeah. Be debt free. Like, who doesn't want to be debt free? View a baseball game at every stadium. Drive across the country. Like, I just thought that'd be really cool to like drive across the country. Like, literally, like start at one coast and get on the other coast and just drive. Um, I don't know why this is on here. Go to Greece. Like, I guess at one point I wanted to go to Greece. I don't know. I could really care less if I travel anywhere, to be quite honest with you. Um, no swimming with the sharks, no jumping out of a perfect airplane, no climbing the tallest mountain. Yeah, no. Mm-mm. Nope. None of those. None of those. None of those. This one was interesting, and I remember it. So it was to learn how to golf properly. So at one point, I enjoyed golf, and I am not good at it. Let's just put it at that. And I thought I wanted to learn at one point, and I tried, and I've given up on it. Like, I'll never golf another day in my life. This one, work at it every day, be the best father and husband for my family. I work on this one every single day. Um, this one I still want to do is to teach others in a classroom format. I've always wanted to be a teacher, so I would love to find some way that I can still do that in some way, shape, or form. Um, huh, this one's fun and interesting because I don't know. I could be in the middle of it now or not. I'm not quite sure. Make an impact on the world. I don't know what the premise of that was behind it because I mean the world is huge. I'm not sure that a single solitary person can make an impact on it in a big way, but making an impact in some way, I guess, is better than none. Um, these next ones are pretty cool. Um, be able to pair wine properly with food. Okay, I know that much about wine, and what I know about it is that it goes in my mouth and down my throat. I don't know anything else about it. Um, Jimmy, just like get a charger. Get a charger. Um, no, I'm joking with you, Jimmy. Um, build a home. Like I've always wanted to build my own home, um, but not like me physically, because I'm the last person that should have a power tool in his hand. And those kids, man, I tell you, yeah, I get it. I have a work phone. It's crazy. Like I have my cell phone, but then work gave us cell phones as well. I mean, years ago. I don't use it, but my son uses it to watch YouTube. It's the best thing ever. Um, but yeah, build a home. Like I'm not going to build my own home. Like, but I do want to build our future home at some point in our lives. Um, change oil in a car. In case you don't know, like I'm not the mechanical guy. I just said I'm the last person that should have a power tool in his hand. I'm also the last person that you want looking under the hood of your car. I probably couldn't even tell you where the engine is. I can check my oil, but I can't change it. But I'd like to someday. Um, be able to give my money away. Like I don't make much. I make enough to live. But I certainly would like to be able to give it all away sometime, provided that my family is good to go. Um, go to an Ohio State Michigan game in Columbus. I've yet to do that. Get over my fear of heights. I am terrified of heights. And the heights for me that I'm terrified of are like diving boards or standing at the edge of a cliff. Anything that I'm not secure in, I'm terrified of. And so, Rudy just mentioned jumping out of a plane. Never, 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 never. But I would like to get over it someday. And I don't know. I know people say, oh, jump out of a plane, you'll be fine. I don't think that's for me. Um, co host a sports talk radio show. So, um, I love sports and like this is I've mentioned this before when I've talked to everybody here on this. This is a challenge for me, right? Like to be on camera and to talk and things like that. Um, I I always wanted to co-host a sports talk show ever since I discovered Mike and Mike 20 some odd years ago, and um, it's ironic because my father in high school when I was in high school like encouraged me to do the communications course there, which was TV and radio. And I was like, no, I don't want to do that stuff. Now I kind of wish I did because I think it'd be kind of cool. Um, Blackwater Falls, nice cliff to stand at the edge. I was going to tell you, yeah, see, Al, I like, I, no, I don't want to, I don't even want to think about standing there. Like maybe if I didn't know, I don't know. I don't know. Um, so this next one, maybe I'm living in the 90s. Maybe I'm living in a romantic novel. I don't know, but I wrote here, I would love to one day be able to walk the beach in khaki shorts, shirtless. Um, Look, I could do it today, right? Like, I mean, I could walk down the beach today in khaki shorts, shirtless, but you can have a big old gut hanging out, and it's just not what I'm comfortable with. So I think the whole premise behind that was I was comfortable with it. Um, Write a book. Yeah, I mean, I would love to write a book. I can't read all that well, but I would like to write a book. Run a successful website or blog. Kind of rack of the day. I fell off the wagon quite a bit with that. I need to get back on that. Complete a triathlon. I would love to complete a triathlon. I used to be a huge runner. Used to be big into biking. Swimming was always my downfall. I love it, although I love swimming to coach and teach. Maybe one day I can get back to that. At one point, I wanted to make my own beer. I could really care less about that. It's Look, I'll go to the gas station, buy me a 6 pack. That's fine. I don't need to make my own beer. This is a big one. This is one that uh, would yeah, Jimmy, like radio show would be fun. Like maybe even now it's a podcast. I don't know. Like it's one of those things where and I guess this is part of why like I do this is it gets me out of my comfort zone and it helps me relate to some of the folks that I talk to and get thoughts out and whatnot because I am an open book. Like I'm willing to talk about anything, give my opinion on anything, answer any question about me. Like that is what it is. um, I listen to a lot of podcasts, and I think that there's some really good ones, and I think there's ways that I could incorporate some things that we do into one, but I don't know the first thing about doing it, so that'd be kind of difficult. Um, this next one, I still want to be able to do simply because my father-in-law is not going to be around forever, and I want my son to be able to do this, and it's to be able to fix things on my own in my own house. And I'm not saying like, you know, screw a light bulb in or door handles or things like that, but like, you know, I I don't know how to lay flooring. Like I can look at it and say, okay, I see, but like I don't. My father-in-law can come and I mean, he's laid flooring for us and has been able to cut perfectly and things like that. And like I I don't have that skill. And so I try to learn from him because I want my son to be able to do that and things like that. Plus, it's a cost savings. I mean, let's call a spade a spade. If I can't do it, I got to pay somebody to do it, and I don't want to do that. Um, this next one we're getting there, I think, soon ish in a couple years, and it's to own land. Mentioned my wife wants a cabin in the woods, so we've kind of compromised and said, we could go find land first because there's relatively cheap land in our area, and so that's something that we are kind of looking into. Um, Pay for my kids' college. That's a huge one. My wife had student debt. I still have student loan debt, and I don't want him to have it. So that's definitely something that we're working on. Um, This one I crossed off. Man, that's how old this is. Wow. See a Cleveland team win a championship. 2016 Cavs. There you go. Got one. Um, yeah. This one I'm kind of working on. I don't want to spill the beans again too much, but develop my own nonprofit. So, kind of working on those things. Um, this is kind of cool. And I think I've actually done it. What It was to surprise my wife with a date night where she planned nothing. And when I say plans nothing, like outfits, time we're leaving, where we're going, what we're doing, time we'll be back, babysitter if needed. all those things, like everything that would go into it. Um, so there's that. This is cool. Uh, Eat the state food from all 50 states in that state. So what I mean by that is um, go to Maine and eat a lobster. Go to Georgia, eat a peach. Uh, Go to Washington State and have a Starbucks coffee. Like it's those types of things, that I would like to do in each of the states, and kind of get out there and be some traveling. So those are some things on there. Again, I don't know. Maybe I'm just kind of rambling at this point. So, oh boy, it's going to be a close one, Jimmy. It's going to be a close one. Soto's got a bonus minute. Yo. All right, so Jimmy, let me ask you a question. Hopefully you're still on. Regardless if Julio wins this or not, um, if his second half is a slump, do you blame the home run derby? Because I mean, look, as much as I enjoyed seeing Jose Ramirez in it, I'd rather have him have a good second half. All right, Alan, take care, buddy. Rudy, that's cool. You've done all 50 states and that you paid off your student loans. Dang, Rudy, good for you. But I don't know. I've always thought, the home run derby, it can cause some issues in the second half of the season. But again, it's the funnest thing out there going, right? This All-Star game. So, all right. I would love to stay on. I think I'm going to head out to I've been on for an hour and 42 minutes. It's almost 11 o'clock. It's way past my bedtime. So, hey, thanks everybody. Appreciate you all being here tonight. This was really fun. I enjoyed it. Maybe I can get on later this week, one day, maybe Wednesday. I don't know. We'll kind of see how the conference goes because, again, haven't seen a lot of these people in a couple of years. So definitely want to catch up with people. But stay tuned. I'll be putting some announcements out on Twitter regarding RAK of the Day. Would love for you all to participate, especially next week at National. So have a good night, folks. Thank you all very much.